Alright, let's talk about polar graphs and coordinates. The coordinates you have are the radius and the degrees, which you can convert to rectangular coordinates. The way you do this is x is equal to r cosine of theta, this theta, and y is equal to r sine of theta. You can convert from rectangular to polar using this formula. Your tan inverse of y over x is going to be equal to your theta, and your r is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. Alright, let's do an example. This is your polar coordinate. We're going to convert using these formulas into rectangular. So it would be x equals 3, which is your radius, times your cosine of your degree value. Now, we know that 150 degrees is equal to 5 pi over 6 on the unit circle, which has these coordinates on the unit circle, cosine being negative root 3 over 2, sine being 1/2. Your cosine of 150 times your radius equals negative 3 root 3 over 2. We can do the same thing with your y, which is your radius times the sine of 150. 3 times 1/2 equals 3/2. So your rectangular coordinates are negative 3 root 3 over 2, 3/2. Alright, back to polar graphs and coordinates. For this example, we're given rectangular coordinates, and we need to convert to polar. So again, we refer back to these two formulas, and for r, we do the root of x squared plus y squared, which gives us square root of 1 plus 3, which is square root of 4, and equal to 2. So that will be our radian value, or r value. For theta, it's the tan inverse of y over x. Tan inverse of root 3 over 1 is 60 degrees. So our theta is 60 degrees. And we're back with the polar graphs and coordinates. Right now, we're graphing. Our first example is 3 150 degrees. So you have 3 radians, meaning you go out 3 circles on your graph, and you have to find on the unit circle where 150 degrees is. It is this line, and so 150 degrees, and 3 radians, and so your plotted point would be right there. Our second example, our radian measure is negative. 5 pi over 6 is 150 degrees, so it's still 150 degrees. But since our r value is negative, we have to go to the opposite quadrant. And there's your point. More examples. This time we're just graphing the degrees. For our first example is negative 720 degrees, which is 2 full rotations around the unit circle. However, since it's negative, we'll be going in the clockwise direction. And there you go. Second example is positive 270, so we'll be going counterclockwise, positive direction.